All right. Welcome to this Tuesday training. My name is Ashley Anderson, registered dietitian, personal trainer, and owner of Move Fully Nourished, where we help active adults using a holistic approach achieve optimal health and wellness. And today I've got a very special guest joining us for this training today. Her name is Libby Pelka. She is a doTERRA representative, and we're going to be talking all about self-care today, how to use essential oils, and how to build healthy habits, really using this tool as a way to help you navigate through your health changes. So welcome, Libby. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Ashley. It's so good to see you again. I know we've done another training before and just really enjoy talking with you. And I've worked with you as a client, so I definitely, just love all of everything you have to offer. And so it's a pleasure to be here and to share some of the stuff and how I've incorporated oils into my life and into the habits of, making that constantly building that change upon yourself. So
Yeah, awesome. And it's so great to have you back for this topic too. So tell us a little bit more. We're going to, as we dive into self-care, tell us a little bit more about really the definition of self-care. How do we define it? And how can we really look at it from a different perspective?
yeah, self-care. I love the subject, and you can really pull it from all areas of your life. And the Oxford Dictionary really says that self-care is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. So it doesn't say it's a one-time thing. It doesn't say, oh, just during those times of stress and when you really need it. It's a practice. So it's the application or the use of that idea. And it's constantly doing it and repetitive. And it's the practice of the self-care to preserve and improve your own health. And it doesn't just happen overnight, and you have to be, very deliberate about it and be, specific on what self-care is to you and how it can actually improve your health overall.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so the biggest question is, how do you make that a priority in your life, right? I mean, we sometimes feel like it's kind of selfish to, do something for yourself or do something that helps yourself. I'm sure you run into that a lot of times with your clients, that they find it hard to focus on something that's important to them. But I always think of that announcement that they make at the airport or when you're in an airplane, which not many of us have been for a while, but they say when you're starting to take off, if there should be a change in the cabin pressure, put your oxygen mask on yourself first before helping others. Because if you aren't able to breathe, if you aren't able to function, there's going to be no, position to help anyone else. And even though that might seem dramatic, right? You can't breathe, but if you aren't, being the best version of yourself, if you don't have enough sleep or enough rest, or enough energy or nutrients or quiet time, whatever that is, you are not going to be able to be the best version to help your family or your mate or your work or anything of that manner. So it's making you a priority and making you the healthiest version that you can make.
Absolutely. I often talk to my one-on-one coaching clients about this too, is it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's often selfless in the act of trying to help better your own health and your well-being to make sure that you show up 100% for your family, for your friends, and be the best version of yourself in those moments to actually be present with people. Because if you're exhausted, like you said, if you're exhausted, you're tired, you're not taking care of you, you're not showing up as that 100% version of yourself, and you're not able to really fully be present with the people you love most. So it really impacts the quality of your life as well.
It does. It does. So with my clients, I try to get them to kind of brainstorm. Like the first step is really brainstorm. Like what do you love? What brings you peace? What brings you joy? Like what makes fills your soul? And just like clear your brain, pull your journal out, and just write down some things. Just not without judgment, right? Walking with nature, a massage, reading a good book, time with that special person, a movie, maybe it's sleep. What are those things that you need that fill your cell, fill your soul? And, Ashley, what are some of those things for you?
Yeah, for me, it's really taking care of my mental and physical health. So, exercise for me is a really important piece of how I feel on a daily basis. I used to, just back in high school, my mom, and I, if there was something we were having a conversation or disagreement, she'd be like, "Oh, just go work out already. You need to go work out, clearly." Because exercise is really just a way to help her to release that stress. And I always found it was also a form of meditation, because in exercise, you can really become tuned in with your body and your breath, and the breath and engaging the core, and really become more aware of what muscles you're using, and how you use your breath to support the engagement and contractions of each muscle. So it's almost like a 3-for-1. For me personally, as the exercise is a great stress reducer, the self-care practice of really knowing that I'm strengthening my body, and the breath work is almost meditative in the concept of trying to connect the breath with the muscle.
Yeah, and that just plays out in all areas of your life. And it really helps in all areas of your life too, right? It doesn't need to be,
Absolutely.
yeah, it drives so many different facets, right? I know for me, it includes, self care is about getting out in nature. I love to garden. I love, a good massage and a bath and rest. And those things, I don't try to fit them in all in one day. It's just like you can't, you can't spend your whole day exercising as much as you would probably love to just take a whole day, but it's not practical. So, as you're taking that full list that you kind of brain dumped, right? How can you pick a couple, even just to focus on today or this week? And my rule of thumb is usually, by the end of the day, if I feel spent, I need to fill that with some self care. And actually, at that time, it's probably too late. But again, bringing these things into a routine, making them a habit, making them a priority in your life. Um, I talk a lot about essential oils and making them habits, because the more that you use them and the more that you do that consistently over time, just like anything, right? It definitely becomes a habit, and you don't have to think about it as much. So you immediately go to that exercise. You know when you need it. You sense that peace in your body of when you need that. So making that a habit, and a habit is something that's hard to give up, right? So, the more you do everything, the more that you can habit stack. So I love to pick, if you're trying to create a new habit, I love to take something I already do. So if you go get your coffee and make your coffee every single morning, put something that you want to create a new habit, maybe your book that you want to read, and go have some quiet time in the morning. So you go make your coffee, your book is there, you go grab it and sit down and start that next habit. And I know you talk about that a lot with your clients too, because we worked on that with exercise, like with clothes.
Yes.
Put your clothes out on your bed the next morning to work out, so you don't have to think about where all that stuff is, right? I know I
Yes.
did that with my shoes. I put them next to my office, my desk in my office, so that at lunchtime my alarm went off on my phone, my shoes were right there. I put my shoes on and went for a walk. If weren't there, if they were upstairs, I would procrastinate and not do it. So I talk a lot about that with oils too, putting oils where you're going to use them. And I have them all over my house. I have them in my bedroom, in my bathroom, my office, my kids' rooms, my laundry room, like my kitchen. I have them all over, so I don't have to think about where is that oil and what do I need to do with it. And that sets you up for success, right?
Yeah, I love that point. I'm just going to interject here. So, with the habit stacking, I love using that term. And when you're saying you're building upon habits that are already in existence, when we are trying to form new habits, it's almost like, they say, oh, it takes 30 days to create a new habit. It really takes closer to 90 to make something
Yeah,
consistently a habit.
yeah,
And when we're looking at trying to make it easy, make it manageable, make it attractive, and this can be something, that we talk a little bit about. In terms of our habit book,
hmm
is looking at how you can almost like tag team. And that stacking terminology is a way to help you ease into creating a new habit that is already in existence. So you're using almost like the imprint of what's already there to help leverage or give you the advantage of continuing to create healthy habits. And where you said too, Libby, when you and I worked on increasing exercise and trying to make that our habit, it was okay. It's just the challenge of the barrier here is literally the shoes and getting the shoes in your visual environment so that you can see it, and it is a trigger for you to say, hey, I'm passing by this place every time I go through my routine in the morning. Here is where I'm going to access the tool that helps me get to the next step, which is actually moving my body in a functional way that helps me feel good. We've also talked in the past too about just creating small wins. And those small wins upon habit stacking is about, even like, for example, if you're wanting to start an exercise routine, and maybe this is too where we pull and draw in some of the essential oil concepts, but when we're trying to create an exercise routine, a lot of times it's, hey, just can go for 5 minutes, just try to get your feet wet, or just try to get the momentum going. And then from there, you can really build on that time. And most of the time, the barrier for people is it's either an all or nothing, right? And so that all or nothing then becomes nothing most of the time. So it's, how do we find, you hear me say this all the time, Libby, but
yeah.
beauty in shades of gray, every little bit counts towards a healthier you. And when we start to pull and draw essential oils into that, love to hear too, where you said like you've got them all over your house, because our sense of smell is so strongly connected to our emotions, to our habits, to just memories. There's so much that correlates to that. And I'm so excited to talk about how you use essential oils to help with habit formation and taking care of yourself to create this self-care practice in order to use another tool here, which is sense of smell.
That's right. Yeah, I do. I have them. And again, it happens over time. And you said that too. Like, we have this all or nothing kind of mentality sometimes. But if you just take small steps, so take one essential oil and put it next to your bed so that you have it before you go to bed, and you can put it in a diffuser. But setting up your environment so that you can be successful, and setting up, and again, small pieces. So some of the things that I like to incorporate, is, I definitely have the oils by the side of my bed with my diffuser. And I have oils that not only wake me up in the morning, but help me go to sleep at night. So I have the diffuser. I have a bottle of water along with um, oils like lavender or serenity or balance to kind of calm and help me relax at night, but also wake up in the morning. So peppermint and wild orange are amazing to wake you up. So simple as getting up in the morning, and you might have a peppermint and wild orange, and just putting a dab, and just like literally the minute you walk out of bed, and just smelling it. So it immediately, like you talk about, that it really triggers memories, and it hits your limbic system right away, and it says, wake up. And it is amazing. Peppermint's one of those I love when new clients try it, because they check it out and their reaction immediately is this big smile of like, wow, I didn't know something good feels so good. And it helps open up your lungs. It helps get more breath into your air. Wild orange is another one that's very energizing. So those two, whether you put them in, put them in your hand or put them in your diffuser in the morning, wakes you up, gets you rolling, gets you going, and ready to take on the day. So those are great ones to have right there, right next to you.
I absolutely love peppermint too. And I used to do like a little bit in a carrier oil, like a jojoba or a coconut, and I'd put a little peppermint and I'd put it on the tops of my shoulders. And in the morning
Mm,
time, you're just like, whew, like you are ready to rock and roll for the morning. It's almost like
yes,
a caffeine boost, but in that way, like you're saying, and connecting with our limbic system and helping our body just get ready and pumped for the day in a different way that doesn't maybe necessarily include caffeine, like maybe typical
right.
morning routine of getting your coffee boost. So that's another way that you can help invigorate your senses, help get you ready and set for the morning. And I've had another client of mine, I've noticed on some of the diffusers now, they almost are like connected with a Wi-Fi or enabled where you can set it as an alarm. And
Yes.
another one of my clients, she ended up getting a diffuser that way. So it would go off and it would start diffusing peppermint. She'd put her drops in, the night before, and it would
Wow.
diffuse to go off as her alarm clock. And she'd wake up smelling that
That's
fresh
amazing.
sense of peppermint in the morning time and along with her alarm clock. And it was like part of her morning routine to start to get
Mhm.
awake, alert, and energized. And it became more of like, this is my happy space. Or two,
Yes.
like you're saying with the wild orange, that's another really great scent too. I love that one as well. And it almost smells like, you're waking up in Florida, like among the trees.
Yes.
Those fresh
You're
oranges.
cutting that fresh orange and smelling it. Exactly.
And then too, you said at night. So kind of prepping to wind down, that wind down
Yes.
routine is so crucial for our self-care, getting good quality sleep, so important for resting and recovery. So tell us a little bit more about what you use for that wind down routine, kind of in that opposing side of relaxation.
And we can talk, I know we can talk about setting the stage for your bedtime routine forever because that is an extremely important piece because we have been so attached to our phones, so attached to electronics, so attached to go, 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 that if you do not set that routine up or set the stage to prep yourself to go to sleep, your brain doesn't know when to turn off. I was thinking this morning, I remember with my children when they were babies, we would have this nighttime routine where we would eat dinner, we would get them ready, and as we're getting them ready for bed, we have the bath, we sit down, we get the PJs on, we turn the diffuser on, we have a book, and that is setting their brains up to know that it's time to sleep. So we don't do that now, but we did that all the time with our kids, and it helped them sleep. It helped them know that this is the time for that. So getting your room ready. The minute you go upstairs to get ready, turn your diffuser on. Choose something relaxing. Lavender is a very simple one to throw in and relax. Um, Serenity or Balance, Vetiver is a really good one, but put something in your diffuser and get it going in the room. Get your PJs on, get your bed ready. You can even spritz some on your pillow. You can spritz some on your bed or just in the room. You can even put some in your hands, put them on your feet, back of your neck. Like get your body, but come up with that routine and get your body ready to relax.
I love
Put the
that.
electronics away, pull out a book, whatever to get yourself and get your brain thinking it's ready for bed. So, Serenity is a restful blend. Balance is kind of a grounding blend. Lavender, again, relaxation. But find what works for you because not all of them, people don't love all of the different scents, but find one that works for you and find a routine that works for you and fits into
Yeah.
your night. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love how you describe too when we're kids or when you've got kiddos and you're creating this balanced routine, it's like we often forget we do that for kids and getting them into the rhythm of a routine to set the stage for sleep, but we often neglect that as adults that we too need to set the stage for a wind down routine. And I know we'll get to talking a little bit more details as we go throughout the day, so
Yes.
we can always go back and talk a little bit more about that morning routine and exercise. But I just wanted to kind of highlight the importance of why we want to balance out both of those ends. That morning
Mm-hmm.
routine is really important. That evening wind down is really important for self-care and habit formation. And so now as we kind of walk through the day, Libby's going to share with us a little bit about, maybe during exercise and meditation and different things that you can do as part of self-care, and pairing with essential oils to help you, again, create those habits, help you tune into what your needs are, and really take that time and space for yourself to fill up your cup so you can pour from a full cup.
Definitely. Definitely. So one of the other, I'll touch on probably three other areas. So prepping for exercise. Obviously, when you get up, if you get it, actually you taught me, do it first thing in the morning, get it out of the way. So prep your clothes. You got your clothes all ready. Fill up your water bottle and add some lemon or a citrus oil. Not only does it, make your water taste better, it's going to help you drink more. And it's got this invigorating flavor that just helps you get more of that water in, that you need during the day. I love Breathe. I don't have it with me, but there's a Breathe roller ball, and I put it all over my chest, put it on my wrists. I'll again put it on my hands and inhale it, opening up your airways. When I was training to really get running into my routine, that's what I did, because I would find my chest would be tight, and I couldn't breathe as long by throwing Breathe. So I actually have it on my treadmill, again, setting yourself up for success so you have the oils where you need them. So that is right on my treadmill. So I'll throw it on my chest, just help to open up the airways. Maybe you put it in your bag before you head to the gym. The other one is Deep Blue Rub, and this is, of course, a miracle.
I love that one.
Yeah, a miracle
So
on
good.
both ends. Oh, on both ends, because you can use it not only before your workout to kind of help ease into some of the exercises, but definitely after a post-workout. You can put it on any specific muscle that's sore. It's really cooling, and again, it's more natural. The oils in the Deep Blue actually help with natural inflammation and natural pain relievers. So there's none of those chemicals or gross stuff that you don't want to be putting on your body and getting into your bloodstream. So Deep Blue has amazing oils that help out with all of those.
I absolutely love the Deep Blue line. I love, like, one thing you want to just be careful is not to touch your eyes after you put it on, but like rub it on your shoulders, rub it in sore muscles, like Libby's saying too, and then wash your hands really well, because it has that cooling sensation. So again, like, you don't want to get it in your eyes because it's very strong, but at the same rate, the smell is so great. It's almost like that, kind of almost reminds you a little bit of like the Bengay kind of, scent. But also just very refreshing, very invigorating too. So it's a great before, or like you said, after. I love using it to kind of massage out sore muscles, and really helps to just let the muscle just relax, let go, and unwind from the knots that are created during movement.
Definitely. And consistency. So if you have a consistent tight calves, or a consistent shin splint, something, using it consistently, even when you aren't working out, but putting it on first thing in the morning really helps to heal and increase the healing in any kind of possible injury that you might have. So some other ideas, meditation. In the morning, or whenever it's convenient for you, doTERRA has a line of yoga oils that are called Anchor, Align, and Arise. And they have oils in it such as lavender and cedarwood, jasmine, Siberian fir. So choose one to turn the diffuser on, set up your area wherever you might have that area. Peace, doTERRA has a peace blend that is also very just kind of relaxing with lavender and cedarwood. You can take it and roll it on your arms and your wrists, maybe the back of your neck. Again, put it over your heart space and just take the time. It really sets that stage and sets the mood to wind you down and give you some peace to meditate or have your quiet time, or whatever that means to you. Breathing. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I haven't tried any of those, the Anchor, the Align, the Rise, the yoga
Yes,
oils. I'm gonna have to look
yes,
into those because again, those blends, lavender, cedarwood, those rose, jasmine,
yes.
those scents are, they are just very calming. And it's almost like it reminds you of places that you would
Mm-hmm.
take those longer breaths. Like say, for example, on vacation, or if like cedarwood reminds you of the holidays, it's like a little bit more restful time, or a time when you're
Right.
on holiday, or a time when you're on a trip or hiking through the woods. It's kind of like bringing up some of those memories and allowing
Exactly.
you to take that space, almost like creating a visualization for those meditations of wherever you want to be. And like you said too, from, maybe it's you're picturing yourself on a beach and maybe the smells are a little bit more earthy, or
Mm-hmm.
aqua based scents that you have around
Yes,
you. Or if you're in the middle of a forest, maybe it's more cedar or pine or that peace,
yes.
and some of the holiday blends. So even just when you're meditating, using these essential oils to create a visual experience for you, to imagine you're somewhere else, which is so powerful, can be
It
very
is.
powerful when you're in the heat of a moment, or you're going through a stressful experience at work, or someone, you're having a disagreement, or something is going on where you're finding this dissonance and you just want to clear that space. Since using the essential oils can take you with your sense of smell to another space,
You
especially during
betcha.
meditation. So it's
You
awesome. And the
betcha. That
breathing.
is, yes, yes. And breathing that in, yeah, to again trigger your brain to say, okay, it's time to calm. It's time to visualize. And that routine of the minute you smell that, it takes you into that, setting the stage and relaxation moment. Excellent. Breathing and just stressing throughout the day. Essential oils are really effective for calming your nervous system and calming anxious feelings that you might have. The smell receptors that are in the, part of your nasal cavity directly linked to your limbic system. So where I was saying with the peppermint, the minute you smell, it's your face almost reacts before your brain goes, "Hello, this smells good." And that's your limbic system, and it actually governs your emotional responses. So certain smells may trigger memories or feelings or help improve the mood. And doTERRA actually has a whole emotional line of oils. They're blends that help really support all of those different areas and different emotions that you might be, feeling. So my go-tos, usually if I'm sitting here at work at the office and have a stressful moment, I know that you talk about this all the time, Ashley, where um, pause, take a deep breath, and really kind of be aware of that moment and be aware and ask those your questions of why am I stressed, or why am I thinking, how do I feel about this, and choosing an oil to either just smell from the bottle or again put in your hands and put over your heart space and just take a breath. And balance works well for me. Adaptive is a calming blend, and adaptive has this one is I have this actually by my desk all the time. And if I'm walking into a meeting or have had a stressful meeting, just even adding it to my wrists and behind my ears and over my heart space really gives me just a moment to calm and just relax and shift your brain to something else. So I use
What does
them.
that one smell like, Libby, the adaptive?
It has lavender and magnolia, um, copaiba, spearmint. So it's got a hint of mint to it
Mm,
that is kind of uplifting. But rosemary and citrus. So yeah,
mm,
so rosemary and neroli. So florals kind of help you calm and relax. That spearmint kind of gives you that little, again, even a shift. When I think of spearmint, I think of chewing gum, but when I think of spearmint, it just kind of gives that refreshing feeling.
mm.
So adaptive is one of my favorite lines that they have come out with, and I actually I think of it a lot for anxiety and stress. Sometimes at night, I'll diffuse adaptive, especially if you have like wake up in the middle of the night having panic or having a fear or having your mind racing. Keeping
Mm.
adaptive there again just kind of helps you come back down and detach from that and focus on the now. It's
Yeah, it's
excellent.
kind of almost clearing space, mental space. And that's another big part of self-care is oftentimes we ruminate or we start to play images in our head over and over. Or
Mhm.
we continuously think about the same thought or the same stressor. And so trying to break free of that is another form of self-care and trying to help clear your mind and gain mental clarity. And that way also helping you remember things easier too, because when we're so
Yeah.
distracted or in a million directions or trying to think of a million things at once, it oftentimes takes the focus, like the multitasking, away from the true event or what we're trying to actually ingrain into our memory. So when we're trying to do that, what are some good essential oils that help us like gain that clarity, Libby?
Oh, you betcha. Rosemary is definitely one of those. Rosemary is kind of the brain oil, if you would, and it really helps with memory recall. So there's been studies done in this also, where if you are studying for a test or preparing for a meeting or a presentation, diffusing rosemary or putting it on your wrist and smelling it while you are studying. And then when you go into your presentation or your test, smelling it again, it actually, triggers those lines. So as you were studying what you were studying, that memory recall, it actually brings that memory back. So rosemary is excellent. Peppermint and wild orange are two that really help with that memory recall. Frankincense is good for concentration. Let's see, In Tune. There's an In Tune blend that is great. There's a children's version and an adult version. But In Tune is a blend of oils that help with that memory and concentration. I'll put it on my kids' neck before they head out the door to school to kind of help them be more in tune and more focused. Um, and then oils for sharp focus. So rosemary again, marjoram, citrus oils really kind of clear the mind and help you focus on the task at hand. So huge benefits. Yeah,
Yeah, and
using
something
oils.
that I hear a lot of my mama clients say, "Oh, my brain fog," it's like, how do
Yes.
we regain that clarity and focus? And a lot of times too, again, going back to what you're saying about the breath is like a lot of these essential oils that are great for memory and clarity are just also great for that pause, that moment where we can just take a second to inhale. The breath is such an undermined superpower, and it has such a large role in pairing and activating our parasympathetic nervous system, our
Yes.
relaxation, rest, digest. And the essential oils, I think, are a crucial piece of that because it's allowing that space for breath, clarity, as well as memory, and being able to kind of ingrain some of the things that you are actually trying to remember and trying to recall at a later date, and using those essential oils to help you do that.
You betcha. And I know I threw a whole bunch of different oils that you can use. And the reason for that is different people are attracted to different scents. I know that I think it was you, Ashley. You're like, I don't love the smell of lavender. Lavender is not my favorite, but again, pick one that you do like and pick one that does work for you. So you have to experience and explore different oils that might work. So rosemary might not be, it might bring memories back of people that of gardening, that their grandma always took them out to gardening and they hated gardening, so they don't like the smell of rosemary. Choose a citrus oil or choose a peppermint or try frankincense, but trying different oils to work for what your benefit is. And that's what's important. You got to enjoy what you're doing. You got to enjoy the smell that you're working with, because otherwise it won't become part of your habit and part of your
Right.
routine, and you won't make that consistent.
Absolutely. And other forms of self-care too, besides the breath, besides meditation and exercise, let's talk a little bit about soaking in a bath and
Oh,
doing
you
some more,
betcha.
some of those unwinding things, maybe, getting closer to bedtime
Yes.
or like that type of stuff.
Yes, so bath, that is one of my self-care routines. My family knows I'm taking a bath. Okay, she had a day and she just needs that unwind and to process through. So we know that, and I'm sure you share this too. Epsom salts and magnesium flakes are huge because it's the magnesium that we need to soak into our body. So I will take a small little ball jar, fill it up with Epsom salts. I will choose some oils. It's often adaptive or lavender or frankincense. And I put 3 to 5, maybe 8 drops into the salt itself, kind of shake it around. And as the bath is drying, I will pour it in there. And that helps the oils so that they don't sit on top of the water. But that soaking in the magnesium from the Epsom salts or the magnesium flakes, along with the scent of the oils, helps shift your brain to relax, to let go, to just ease into um, a different place. And that could be your time that you meditate, or read a book or have a glass of wine with your bath. But that is not only does the magnesium really soak into your body and help your body relax, but the oils help with that too. So that's one of my go-tos and my favorite one. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the time of where I currently am, 34 weeks pregnant, we've been talking a lot about with my midwife and doula about Epsom salt baths, and even just like leading up into pregnancy, the impact of the magnesium, because many people are deficient in magnesium, and having a foot soak or doing a bath if you've got one at home, and being able to help your body absorb magnesium in a different way through the skin, because we do absorb so much through our skin that a lot of times we're not aware about. And then how that helps us, how it helps our muscles actually relax. So now you've got the essential oils that are helping give you that beautiful smell and helping your body unwind. And then you have the Epsom salts that are full of magnesium that help to calm and relax your muscles, your legs. Also is a great way to help with bowel movements in the morning. So if we're talking about total detox here and really taking care of your body, those are really important ways that you can do that, is by adding in the Epsom salts to your bath as well as the essential oils.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, there are, and I think that the important thing is, I mean, we threw a lot of stuff out there, right? And a lot of different ways, but allow, yourself to choose one of those. What is one thing that you can do this week? What is one thing that you can, one oil that you can choose to incorporate into your routine? And one self-care practice that you can make. I know this week, Ashley, you're talking a lot about self-care and that importance. So making you a priority, right? And giving yourself that pampering and that benefit of being able to, be the best person that you can be.
Absolutely. And kind of tying back with all these things that you've mentioned today, I think it'd be really great if we'll have a list. We'll be able to get a hold of Libby here. We'll have her contact information up along with this video. You can also go to doTERRA's website. So if you're looking at how to spell it, we've got DOTERRA lowercase. As well as some of the links to some of the essential oils that we've mentioned and kind of talked about. And like Libby said, you're doing this to make a choice, to choose you, but choosing you in a way that helps, like I said, fill up your cup. And when we're filling up your cup or putting on your mask first with the airplane analogy, you're able to be more present and more available to the people that you love most. So in the end, everyone is benefiting from your focused care on yourself, and using essential oils to pair with a lot of these habits and forming these habit stacking techniques, right? Small steps making a better version of you, is to use your power of smell and breath and unwinding to help you incorporate more of these techniques into your routine so that they just become imprinted on who you are and who you become. And so, I'm so grateful that you were able to come on and share with us all about essential oils today, Libby. And if anybody has any additional questions, you can just post below here or write in any responses that you have. If you've used any of these techniques or you have other things that you've done for self-care and practicing with essential oils, skills that maybe we didn't mention, feel free to add that on, because we learn from each other, we grow with each other, and when we share our experiences, we're sharing the knowledge and wisdom of really, all of our wisdom together, so that we can learn and grow. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much, Libby. And you and I will be talking soon, I'm sure, but have a great rest of your day, everybody. Make it an amazing day.
Thanks much.